The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.
It's the first leg of Greyhound Racing's Triple Crown. It's the Tote Sports Scottish Derby final. It's worth £25,000 to the winner, and it's on this week's edition of The Dogs. Also on tonight's show, we're off to Oxford for the William Hill PALL final. We spotlight a relatively new addition to the training ranks, Tony Ward. Plus, there's a comprehensive review of Sunday's Trainers' Championship meeting at Perry Bar. But first, it's back to SHAWFIELD for the Tote Sports Scottish Derby final. Punters turned out in force for what is one of Greyhound Racing's great occasions. Packed stands, some great racing with huge amounts of money changing hands. It's what gives Scottish Derby final night an extra special buzz.
It is. It's a great buzz being the first classic with the Scottish Derby, English and Irish. That's why we like to put up the big bonus for it. It keeps interest going throughout the season, throughout the other classics.
And what's happening here at SHAWFIELD? I see the new lighting systems in place and been well received.
Yeah, at the moment we've got the new kennels. They opened in August. We opened that before the Jordan's Electric Mungo Cup, and just November we get the new lighting system in, which is different class. It makes you realise how big the actual track is. You just take one that's absolutely immense. It's the biggest scallop track in the country, in my opinion. It's fantastic. It needs a special dog to run here, but.
And Greyhound Racing in Scotland, of course, word that Victory Lane could just be up and running this time next year.
Hopefully it will be. Gives more interest in Scottish racing. Just now, it looks a dying game. The flapping tracks are going to the wall. It'd be good to see another NGRC track going. I think the competition would be good for SHAWFIELD as well.
Indeed, this year's Scottish Derby proved a great competition. Come final night, all tastes were catered for, both on the terraces and in the sponsors' lounge as the big race drew closer. Serving up a treat on the supporting card was the appearance of 2004 Scottish Derby champion FARLOE Verdict, who faced an intriguing tussle with informed drop goal Johnny on her inside. Charlie Lister's bitch had been unlucky to be knocked out of the main event.
Hares at the boxes. And away they go here for this much anticipated contest, and drop goal Johnny got first run on FARLOE Verdict, pushed to one side as they go to the bend, taken on no by 3. Distant Thunder, FARLOE Verdict's moved up now, she's 2 lengths off the pace in third, then Cathal's Idol getting a run down the outside, followed by Ardent Soldier, Malbay Nikita. They're past halfway, drop goal Johnny in front, FARLOE Verdict a length and a half to find, she's in pursuit of the leader in second, they're clear of Malbay Nikita. It's race on, it's FARLOE Verdict the outside now trying to challenge drop goal Johnny. The distance between them is half a length, but it's in favour of drop goal Johnny, and drop goal Johnny has beaten FARLOE Verdict. Back in third, Malbay Nikita.
So a third straight win on Scottish Derby final night denied to FARLOE Verdict by a powerful performance from Ted Soppitt's drop goal Johnny. For the runner-ups trainer Lister, attention now turned to the showpiece event. Ian Melvin piped the dogs onto the track for the Scottish Derby final. Racegoers studied their cards for the final time. The bookies, busy as usual, made this dog, Ballymac Nylock, a real danger to all. Carly Philpott, Nylock's trainer, had been forced to withdraw Ballymac Kuel on the morning of the race, but they still had high hopes of denying this dog, Robbie De Niro, whose electric early pace, albeit coming after poor trapping, had laid claim to outright honours. It was 5-4 Robbie De Niro ahead of Ballymac Nylock and Lister's other runner, Belle Devotion. The strong Irish presence was headed by DROOOPYS Marco in 6.
Robbie De Niro, can he make it another Scottish Derby for Charlie Lister? The Hares coming to the boxes. And they break, and Robbie De Niro not that quickly away, but Belle Devotion was as they go to the bend. Robbie De Niro trying to make ground now. He moves into second. DROOOPYS Marco's right with them on the outside. Then Ballymac Nylock and Barefoot Maestro is last. They're racing down towards the home turn. DROOOPYS Marco by half a length. Robbie De Niro on the inside now coming to challenge. They take the final bend. Robbie De Niro, DROOOPYS Marco won't go away. Down the straight, Robbie De Niro, DROOOPYS Marco fighting back. DROOOPYS Marco's won the Tote Sport Scottish Derby. DROOOPYS Marco from Robbie De Niro and Ballymac Nylot back in third.
It's a victory for an Irish dog trained by a Scotsman and owned by 2 Englishmen. The 2005 Tote Sport Scottish Derby winner DROOOPYS Marco was a very special winner.
Martin, brilliant win for you.
Fantastic.
Oh, I spoke to you earlier on, you said, well, somebody gets around in front, you have a chance.
Well, that was it, and we got out, and that was it tonight. Fantastic.
Yeah. Nice anti-post bet?
Couple of quid.
Tell me later, OK. What about you, Lawrence?
Oh, it's just tremendous. I mean, Fraser and Paul have done a fantastic job with the dog. He hasn't been breaking here. He got out better tonight, and his back straight pace was enough to win it. Tremendous.
Nice success. Fraser, come in. A great success for you, of course. It would be your biggest, wouldn't it?
Yeah, biggest. Horse and Derby, the Longford Derby. So we've been so hitting the bar. Let's hope that's the duck broken. We're going to.
But it's nice to win your home derby, even though you're based in Ireland.
It's lovely, lovely. And for everybody back home, it's a team effort, you know, the family and that, you know. So they'll be delighted.
Off to Ireland now with them or not?
Oh, we're going back to Ireland, but we'll keep him because of the traps. We won't race again in Ireland. We'll just keep him with Wimbledon now, trialling with the bevel traps.
Yeah.
So that's all we can hope for and keep him right.
Tote Sport chairman Peter Jones hands over the trophy and the small matter of a cheque for £25,000 to clearly delighted connections. Roll on the Scottish Derby 2006, but not before a trip to Oxford for the William Hill Pall final. Just 3 days on from SHAWFIELD, but still a healthy attendance and a supporting card spiced by the rematch of the Springbok first and third, Druids Mickey Joe and Greenacre Tom. Mickey Joe was an even money favourite to win the Battle of the Wimbledon Dogs.
Off they go and racing up towards the first flight. Good start from Greenacre Tom in 3 and Druids Mickey Joe in 2. They're over the second flight together, and Druids Mickey Joe with a better early pace goes on. Slightly crowded was Greenacre Tom. After these comes 5 Limited Blue heading down the far side, and it's 2 Druids Mickey Joe with a length and a half to spare. Greenacre Tom seemed to pecker that one, has lost ground on Druids Mickey Joe. The Springbok winners out clear then as they come around the final bend. Druids Mickey Joe by a good 4 lengths. 6 Oklahoma Joe trying to run on for second. Druids Mickey Joe the winner. Greenacre Tom held on for second place. Tight for third in the end between Oklahoma Joe and Sizzler's Bosman.
A track record run from Herder of the Year so far, Druids Mickey Joe. But the main course was still to come. Following the withdrawal of Fire Height Dan, LISNAFULLA Flash, trained by Ernie Gaskin, and Paramount Silver, handled by Paul Liddle, were made 2-1 joint favourites to claim the £8,000 first prize. Once again, a 5-runner final, but thankfully the action didn't disappoint.
Here comes the hare, and they're off and running for the William Hill Paramount final, and breaking fast. LISNAFULLA Flash out in front from 5. Paramount Silver giving chase in second. Roswell Spaceman with a pitch in third as they head down the far side. It's LISNAFULLA Flash, the leader from 5. Paramount Silver trying to get to grips is Roswell Spaceman. Then comes 3. Gilles Fillon as they come around the second last bend. It's 4. LISNAFULLA Flash from the front is leading them home. It's LISNAFULLA Flash for birthday boy Ernie Gaskin. LISNAFULLA Flash wins. Roswell Spaceman was second, and it's gone to a photo for third.
I think I've been second about 5 times in the Pall Mall, so it's the first one, so I'm delighted. I go back to Haringey days with it, you know.
So the derbies are next then, yeah?
Yes.
And that'll be your
yes.
swan song because you're retiring in June, aren't you?
I'm retiring in July. 1st of July, my boy takes over.
Good.
But I'll be there.
Okay.
I'm a kennel boy again then.
What a birthday present for a greyhound racing legend, Ernie Gaskin. Ian Spearing of Hills did the honours. Not a bad start for this young kennel hand, eh?
Hove last Saturday in the semi-finals of the Courage Greyhound Olympic over 515 metres. Favourite for the first semi-final was Pennyworth, already a finalist this year in the Birmingham Cup and the Arc. Well drawn in 1. They're off and racing out towards the first bend. Good start from Restless Lad in 4. After these comes 3. That's Miss Lauren. 1's trying to rush up now, Penny's Worth, and it causes a bit of problems there. Certainly 3, Miss Lauren was done no favours. 6, Droopy's Oasis, a lot to do. Heading down the far side, and at the moment, Restless Lad has a lead of 2.5 lengths over 1. Penny's Worth trying to close into the third bend. As they come around that second last turn, then it's still up front, Restless Lad from the traps. Still 1, Penny's Worth trying to find a way through. 6, Droopy's Oasis getting a look in as well, up towards winning line. It's Restless Lad holding on from Droopy's Oasis. Penny's Worth back in third. Well, a major shock as Derek Knight's Restless Lad, who'd won in the first round heats in 30.04 on a quick track, goes on to score in 29.82, making all. A win for Derek Knight there, and he also had solid money in the second heat, of course, successful in the Prestige Stakes over 6 bends at Hall Green, back to 4 bends on his home territory. And away they go, and racing up towards the first bend. 1's best away here, Farloe Speed leads up early. Then comes 2, Billy's Cruise, along with 3, Rio Limo, and Solid Money trying to find a way through on the outside. So head down the far side, and at the moment Farloe Speed for Wendy Short has the lead here of 1.5 lengths now. Billy's Cruise is closing into the third bend and going for the inside route as they reach the third bend. Billy's Cruise slightly held up, Solid Money, it's all playing into the hands surely of Solid Money. 1 goes on, Farloe Speed. 2, Billy's Cruise had no luck in running, but 6, Solid Money's flying at the death. Solid Money gets there from 1, Farloe Speed. Well, Derek Knight, Solid Money, who'd won in the heats in 29.82 on a quick track, recording a little bit quicker there, 29.79 from off the pace, beating Farloe Speed. The 9.46, the third semi-final, Mildine Clarkey, the Golden Jacket winner for Barry O'Sullivan, lined up over 4 bends, 6-4 favourite. It was then 4-1 bar. And they're off and running and racing out towards the first bend. Trouble out of the traps there for Gavel in 4 and 3, Clover Joy. But Clover Joy, very determined, is going to lead by the first bend. A little bit more trouble there. 5, Innocent Mum had no run, and Mildine Clarkey got a bump but rode it well. Heading down the far side, and at the moment Clover Joy leads. Top Tango's gone through into second, looking for a gap on the inside. So's Mildine Clarkey. A little bit of congestion there. Mildine Clarkey had to check. Top Tango not quite sure where to go. So come off the final bend. 3, Clover Joy still with the advantage. Near side 1, Top Tango closing all the time. Clover Joy holds on. Clover Joy winning for trainer Brian Clementson here, beating Top Tango. Mildine Clarkey failing to qualify. The winning time was 30.15, the slowest of the 3 semi-finals. And the Courage Olympic final at Hove this Thursday, and no doubt about it, Solid Money will be odds on from Trap 5, but threats from Droopy's Oasis and also Farloe Speed. Coming up in part 2, a visit to the Derbyshire kennels of trainer Tony Ward. Welcome back. We begin with the action from Perry Bar, where on Saturday they staged this year's Trainers' Championship. These are the 6 trainers that qualified. No surprise to see Charlie Lister as the short prize favourite with the bookmakers. There was plenty of strength in depth from his kennels over the 8 races. However, a hiccup in the first heat as Hop Hop Follow Joel in 2 was beaten by Brian Clemenson's Shiva's Magic. Lister though was soon back on track as Ningbo Jack flew out of the traps in 3 to make all in the sprint. Ningbo Jack, successful in the Laurels and National Sprint last year, broke the track record at Perry Bar, scorching round in 16.05. Mark Wallace's Ronnie's Boss running a good race in second. Maximum points again for Team Lister in the next as Baton made all from Cheryl Miller's Borna Triangle. Baton recording 28.73. In the next, all eyes were on Charlie Lister's Farloe Verdict as she went to the traps for the very last time over a new distance of 660 metres. She was sent off the 10 to 11 favourite with Brian Clemenson's stayer Shelbourne Star in 4 at 9-4. And they're off and racing up towards the first bend. Good break from Farloe Verdict in 1 ahead of 2, Show the Light. So go around the first bend. After these comes 5, Borna Circle. Trying to move up on the inside is 3, Flashing Tone. Forced out very wide is She's the Deal. And lacking pace so far, Shelbourne Star. Circuit to go, and 1, Farloe Verdict has kicked clear. She leads now by a good 3 or 4 lengths, heading down the far side from 2, Show the Light. After he's trying to pick up a little bit of ground now is Borna Circle in 5. Then comes 3, Flashing Tone and Shelbourne Star. As they come down towards the second last bend, it's Farloe Verdict in front here by 2.5 lengths over 5, Borna Circle. Then after these 4, Shelbourne Star beginning to pick up, but it could be too late. Farloe Verdict running wide, getting tired. It's Borna Circle on the inside. Borna Circle wins. BORNA Circle, winning for Cheryl Miller in 40.50. So at the halfway stage, Charlie Lister had 32 points, 12 points clear of nearest pursuer Cheryl Miller, whilst Brian Clementson was in third with 18 points. But Brian Clementson was about to strike. Firstly, in the puppy heat, Shelbourne Nina made all to record 28.67, beating Paul Young's DROOOPYS Teddy by 3 3/4 lengths. Then Clemenson's Derby runner-up, Big Freeze, turned on the style to pick up Canimar, the Birmingham Cup winner for Charlie Lister, by the third bend and went away to record 28.41. Clementson had the favourite in the 7th leg, the Stayers event over 660 metres, with Greenacre Lynn, but she couldn't peg back John Mullins' grand servant Jack Spark, who broke the track record in 39.98. So with one race to go, Charlie Lister was top of the Trainers' Championship with 45 points, only one ahead of Brian Clementson. Cheryl Miller and Mark Wallace were tied for third with 26 points. Charlie had the favourite in the last with Robbie De Niro, perfectly housed in 3, with 2 modest trappers on his inside, Paul Young's Ted's World Cup in 1 and Bally Brazil Hero for Clementson in 2. Away they go and racing up towards the first bend, and Robbie De Niro gets a great start, leads up early. Bally Brazil Hero trying to move up into second, does so successfully. After this comes Manera Spark to head down the far side, and it's Robbie De Niro for Charlie Lister. A good 5 lengths clear here from Bally Brazil Hero in second, and then comes Manera Spark. After these comes Courage Boy. They come round the final bend, and it's all about the early pace of Robbie De Niro. He may have failed Charlie in this final of the Scottish Derby. He's not failed tonight. The points are in the bag for Charlie Lister as Robbie De Niro wins. Robbie De Niro recording 28.38, the fastest time on the night. So the 2005 Trainers' Championship was won by Charlie Lister with 55 points, 5 clear of Brian Clementson. Then a gap to both John Mullins and Mark Wallace tying for third place. More silverware for the maestro Charlie Lister, but all in all a terrific night's entertainment from Perry Bar.
Behind these gates of the old rectory at Appleby Magna in Derbyshire is the home of Nottingham trainer Tony Ward. Tony has settled here in an area which has had greyhounds as a central theme for many years. A coat of arms at the house depicts dogs and a rooster, hence Tony's racing prefix. There's acres of land here, a perfect setting for breeding, rearing and training dogs. Underpinning all of it is one of Tony's successful businesses in the fashion industry and his clothing label Worn for the younger, trendier set. Well, that counts me out. But the day job is shared with Tony's real love, and that's across the courtyard and the kennels. This is where many would say the real hard work is done, and Tony's young team are going places. For producer of the dogs Clive Lawrence, first stop was the snooker room to see if Tony was up to the challenge. Here is a man who is used to winning, in business and in life, and on the snooker table. Well, most of the time anyway.
So Tony, obviously your profession isn't snooker, but you've decided to train greyhounds rather than own them. What got you into the training side of dogs?
I guess through from being a frustrated owner, wanting to know too much a lot of the time, asking silly questions when what's happening next with a dog, etc., etc. But predominantly so I could become hands-on. I have a love of animals and dogs particularly, and wanting to handle them myself and deal with them in my own way was the biggest single most deciding factor.
Well, Tony, some might say a tender age of 33, you're a bit young to be a trainer and having a great setup as you have here. I mean, how do you answer some of your potential critics there?
Well, I answer potential critics of that, I suppose, by I was born and bred on a council estate. I've worked hard for everything that I've ever achieved, and equally I'm prepared to work hard at the greyhound side of what I'm doing. I've managed to successfully run a business for 6 years. I've been training dogs for 2.5 years now. I'm trying to make a success of that. You do need some help along the way. You do need some advice along the way. I try and put the right people in the right places at the right times to give me that advice and that help. If you like, it would be me who'd be more critical of myself than anyone else, I guess. But I try and use the right help, and that is the most important thing.
Tony has a large string of dogs, all trying to follow the lead of the kennel's best-known dog so far, LISNAFULLA Cattle, a very decent marathon open racer. He's now retired through injury, but not before helping put Tony on the map.
What do you say to those people that say, new kid in town, he's got lots of money, he thinks he knows better than all of us, and he's now decided to set up his own business? They actually want you to fail, don't they?
I'm sure there are people who do, yeah. I think, you know, people's popular misconception of me is that, you know, I'm kind of this guy who's come in with, like you say, chucking money at the sport and this and that, but it's not true, it really isn't. And, you know, I've worked from the foundation level, you know, I'm not buying 50 grand dogs, I'm not, you know, out there trying to buy success, I'm trying to build it. And you know, building something doesn't start overnight. You have to work very hard at it, and for the last two and a half years, that's what we've been doing here, you know.
In such lovely surroundings, Tony and his staff have the perfect base to develop the training operation. What was once a hobby is now a serious business, and more success surely beckons for a young man still willing to learn and work at becoming one of the best in his field, and not for the first time, of course.
Nobody should be frightened of training, because the biggest secret to greyhound training is there is no big secret. And people, you know, really, I'm sure they know that themselves. And, you know, I think it's quite clear. You might have 5 or 6 things that you keep up your sleeve that are little extras. And like I say, those are the things that, you know, people who've got 20 or 30 or 40 years experience in a game, maybe, you know, Charlie Lister might have 20 things up his sleeve. Well, you know, I might have 6. You know, but I'll find out what the other 14 are over the next 20 years, and you know, I'm happy to pass that on to my young staff, and hopefully they can you know, be a trainer in the future and, you know, progress in the sport.
Now a look ahead to the forthcoming open race action. On Thursday, Hove staged the final of the Courage Olympic over 515 metres, whilst Monmore run the heats of the Greyhound Studbook Trophy. This also opens at Coventry, Milton Keynes, Reading and Walthamstow. The East London track action live on Channel 425. Romford is the place to be on Friday with the second round heats of the Coral Golden Sprint. Sunderland stage heats of a minor competition over 450 metres, which will be screened live on Channel 425, whilst there are also opens planned at Henlow. Saturday and Peterborough have the stage to themselves with the prestigious Pepsi Peterborough 2005 Diamond Jubilee Puppy Derby Final, which is also live on 425, won last year by Fireheight Dan. I wonder if there's another potential superstar about to emerge from the fens. Sunday and opens planned for Coventry, Nottingham, Rye House, where they have the semi-finals of the Hertfordshire Derby, and Sittingbourne. For all the latest information and results, click on to www.thedogs.co.uk. Next week on The Dogs, well, the Courage Olympic final from Hove, and an interview with greyhound trainer Ted Soppit. Don't miss it.
The Dogs, in association with the British Greyhound Racing Board.